Hello all, my name is Piotr and I build rock guitars. I thought I would go back to the body this week and install the string ferrules block. I will use the router to route out the cavity for it, and when this is installed, well, not installed but routed out and ready for installation, I will go ahead and sand the back and sides again to get rid of any weird marks that were left after dyeing the deep grain. That should be simple enough, and I've got scratches to get rid of as well. That should be fun. Right, let's figure out how to install a ferrule block. So, as I mentioned, this block is 12.5 mil wide, and this is exactly the size of the router bits that I have, and the smallest, the shortest one that I have, yeah, 12 mil deep, and the width is also 12.5. So this is the perfect size to route out the cavity. But the problem is that I have to build a template for it. I bought some thick MDF to use as template, to build a template around it. I'm going to place the block where it belongs, where it needs to go, and then use pieces of this MDF on both sides, and I'm going to plug the sides as well, and I will be able to follow the MDF and route the cavity, but I won't be able to do it on one go because the depth of this MDF is exactly the depth of the cutter. So I won't be able to drop the cutter through the template because I'm risking cutting into the template, and I can't go beyond the depth of the template for the bearing to rest on the edge and cut it straight. So what I'm going to have to do is route it in 2 stages. I'm going to use the lovely tiny router bit that I have to route out an initial cavity big enough to fit the router bit in, so that I can drop it low enough to sit on the template, so that the bearing sits on the template, and route out the rest. I'm also going to have to figure out the way to measure precisely the depth of this cavity. This is going to have to be exactly the height of this block. I don't want to go too far or not far enough, otherwise it will look weird. This also is exactly the height of the cutter, so yeah, it's all just wrong. So what I need to do is to build a template. I need to cut this MDF, I need to cut a few pieces off. So I'll set up my saw. That'll be the quickest option, and I will cut up the MDF, and then I'll figure out the template. Okay, so what I need to do is stick some masking tape down here. I think I'll use a lot of it, and I'll use the thick one. I need to do a couple of things. Find the front edge of this block and mark 90 degrees angle on the center line, and use it to locate everything else from there. So first of all, center line. And center line is visible here. Those are two pieces of swamp ash glued together. Oh, bleeding again. So yeah, that's the center line, and from here so this is roughly, yeah, that's 12.5, and these holes are, should be 10, 9 millimeter, okay. So I'm just going to judge it by eye. Yeah, so this is where, this line here is where I want the edge of the block to be. So I need 90 degrees angle on the center line. Like so. The tape is not placed straight, so there. And then I need to mark where it will end. This is going to be one side of the template, like this, and then the other side I will place with the block in place. So I'll glue this one on, and then I'll place the block, and I will then locate the second panel. That way I am not relying on my calculations, but on the actual block. Yep. Okay, what about the sides? 75, is it? 75 millimeters, so 37 and a half. 37 and a half on either side. 35, 6, 7 and a half. Yep, that is correct. Same on the other side. Okay, so I've got 3 sides marked. These will be tricky. Oh, okay. I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to tape it up entirely. The router bit will not have any issues with with the masking tape, I'm sure. Okay, this is going to be the width of it. I should really sand it down flat. This seems flat, but this doesn't. I can do that quickly. Okay, well that will work. Going back to the issue that I have now, this router bit is as tall as this template now, so I can't pop it in, start the router and start going into the cavity, because I will route into the template and that's just useless. So what I need to do is to route out a small cavity first, to drop the router bit into, and to be able to route the cavity from there. So I'm going to use this tiny router bit, because the bearing sits on the template now when it just touches the wood, and I can drop it carefully, route out a small cavity, drop it further, route out the same small cavity, do it several times, and route deep enough for this router bit to go into the cavity and allow the bearing to ride on the template. Okay, so here's the router. I need to pop in the small bit. Yeah. So the router bit is now riding on the wood. I can set the depth stop to whatever depth I want, really. I'm going to do like 5 mil maybe. It doesn't really matter what the distance is now. All that matters is that I don't go over these two lines on either side, which is the width of the block. I can't go beyond that. I can go anywhere within this section here, but not beyond those sides. I'm not going to go very far off the center line. What I'm aiming for is just enough cavity routed out to allow the bigger router bit to drop in without cutting into the template. Let's do it. Okay, so this went well. I routed out just a bit across three holes here. This will allow the bearing on the big router bit to go below the edge of the template and not damage it. But what I noticed is that these two blocks are too close together, and that bearing will not be able to freely glide. So I'm going to take this one off and reapply it only slightly further out, and I will use the trick that you normally use with templates, where you put a masking tape on the template to move the distance slightly further, but I'm going to do it the other way around. I use a masking tape on the block to find the distance for this template, this side of a template, and when I take it out, it should be perfect for the bearing. I'm not worried that this bearing feels tighter than the block. It might be off by like 1/4 mil. That's not a problem because I'm gonna have finish on the wood. So even if the cavity is routed out 1/4 mil wider on either side, it's gonna be finished with the wipe-on poly anyways. So yeah, there will be no gap. Now I have one layer of masking tape on the block, and I will use it to get the proper distance between the two parts of the template, hopefully. Let's see. Okay, it seems even. I'll leave it to dry, and I'll drop the big router bit down to see. Let's see. Okay, so this fits in nicely now, and yeah, I can drop it in so that the bearing hides under the surface of the template, and then when I switch it on, it will cut its way into the wood. That's fine. What I need to do though is install the sides of the template so that I don't go too far. Okay, now these two. I think I'm just going to glue them right onto the masking tape on the body. I'm not going to bother with masking tape on those two blocks. I'm not planning on saving those. They're here to do one job. So the bearing, because it's the same size as the block, it's got the same radius. So I only need this very tip of this block to be there so that it stops the bearing from going over. Same on the other side. That's why I'm not worried that there's a gap here or that it's glued on one side. This is ready for routing, I think. Let's see what happens. Oh, and I need to find a depth that I want to go to. Yeah, so I'm going to drop the bit so the bearing is just below the level of the template, just to cut the initial cavity to see what it looks like. So the cavity is cut. I'm going to drop it with my Leatherman. Drop the block in to see if it goes in nicely. Wow, that is great. Okay, now the important part is the depth. I need to only go as deep as this. That's not going to be easy because I have a depth of the template plus the depth of the block. So twice the depth of the template. Okay, might be easier than I thought. And I need to be 25 mil. This is 23. Let's do 23 for now and see what happens. Yes, it's 23 mil. I'm gonna go with this. And then correct it later. I don't want to go to a full depth at once. Because I am at almost 23 mil. Yeah, 22 3/4. I need to be very careful with what I do now. What is this? And that is 25 exactly. I'm going to lock it in place because this is the final depth that I'm going to. So this is routed to full depth, I hope. I will verify it now by dropping the block, but it does look very good. Let's see how it fits. Okay, I think it's okay. I can take the template off and reveal the actual cavity. So this is what the block looks like. It's sticking out by a tiny bit, which I'm not worried about. Looking at the sides of the cavity, there's no gaps. Looks great. So I went to a hardware store, got a pack of screws. These unfortunately are slightly too big for these countersunk holes. So I'm going to have to make it work. I can't leave it sticking out like this. This just doesn't look good, does it? So I can shave this much is enough to hold it in place. I believe that after there is a finish in the cavity, it will be a tight fit. So the screw is purely cosmetic at this stage. But since the holes are here, I am going to use the screws. But I can shave the screw head down enough to fit flush with the block, or I can use a countersink bit to enlarge the hole in the block. I'm going to start with shaving the screw because I've got, what, 100 of them and I only have one block. So if I can make it work without drilling into the block, I'd rather do that. Okay, that is straight. I'm going to use files. I think it makes sense to use files. So the starting width is 5.5 mil. Let's see. And I want to keep the 45-degree angle of the screw head, because just shaving it on the outside will not make it sink in deeper into the hole. It has to be shaved from the back. Okay, it wouldn't be a day in the workshop if I didn't cut myself twice. Okay, well, so the size is coming down. I want to take it out and see what it looks like on the block. So not much is happening, to be honest. Not much at all. I will carry on and see if I can get anywhere. If not, I can deepen the two mounting holes in the block. That should be easy enough. That is perfect. I love it. I'll do the other one same way, hopefully. Maybe you can see the difference in the head size. I'm not worried about the strength because it will not be holding this block in place. This is purely cosmetic at this stage. I was just going to say, it would be a shame if I broke the screw. Okay, so it is a shame because I broke the screw. So I need to make another one. But before I do, I need to take this one out somehow. Okay, this is not funny. Okay, so this is not going as well as I was hoping it would. This is the screw that broke off. I must have shaved too close to the head and it just broke off. So I'm trying to get it out with a extracting drill, screw extraction drill, whatever that is. It's a left twist drill bit, which is supposed to drill into the screw and just unwind it. But I've managed to score the block in a couple places trying to pull it out with my pliers. So I ordered another one. I will not worry about not damaging it anymore. I will do something else instead. I will file the top and polish it up as much as I can to see how much it can get polished. If it doesn't work, I will put the new one in, but if it does, I think I would prefer a polished metal here rather than this I don't know what you call it. It's got like a structure, it's not smooth. Okay, so I managed to pull the block out without big issues with the cavity. That screw that was stuck in the block was halfway into the wood, so I ripped it out, unfortunately, but that's okay. I stabilized it with very thin super glue and that should be okay. I will try to enlarge those holes with a countersink bit to see if I can use those screws without modifying them. If I can enlarge it enough for the screw to sit in nicely, I will do that. What I also want to try is to file it down or sand it down and then polish it up to a very high grit so that it's a polished metal. If it doesn't look good, I will leave it as is. Well, I'll leave the new block as is, and I'll figure out a way to install it, maybe just by different screws. But I'll try the countersink bit first. It's not pretty, but since it's going to be hidden under the screw, I'm not really worried. Okay, well that works. Okay. Yeah, that works. Very good. Okay, well, this was weird. I didn't expect it to go so bad. But at least I managed to get the block out without damaging the body. So I now have a method to install it. I'll try to buy smaller screws as well. If I can get smaller screws, I probably should do that. But if I can't, drilling out the countersinks a bit is the way to go, because it works and I can use those screws and the block sits in very nicely. So yeah, I'm happy with overall happy, but yeah, it's disappointing to just have it go wrong that way. What I'm going to do next is sand the body back and sides, since the block it works, and restain it and prepare it for the wipe on poly. So hopefully next week I'll have the body ready for the finish, at least for a few coats. I want to seal it and protect it for when I'm working on the top, so that later on I can go back and finish it properly. But I want to protect it from all the possible scratches and, you know, fingerprints and dust in the grain by just putting a few coats of the wipe on poly. So hopefully next week I'll be doing that. If not, there's a lot to be done on the next, so yeah. Anyways, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching, and for all the comments and all the support. I really appreciate that. And I will see you next week. Cheers. Love you, bye.